he got it.
Alright, today I'm going to install the electrical cups for the outlets and for the plugs and the switches and the lights. Going to Home Depot and bought them. In case you're not familiar with this is your typical outlet cup that goes on the wall or up higher for like your switch for when you walk through the door. You nail that on the side, and then they go down low for your outlets. So these are singles. You also have doubles. Let me see if I got some in here. This is a double, you know, for like in your kitchen, you got two outlets next to each other, or a switch and an outlet. And these round ones are typically for lights, so you can nail those on your ceiling joists or rafters upside down, and put your round light fixture there. And this is the wire I'm going to use. I'm going to wire the cabin for AC electric, which is what your house typically is. You have AC and DC. This is your typical Romex that is used in a house. This is 14-2, which means there's two conductors in a ground. Your conductors, your white and your black. White is neutral, black is your hot. That's the one that'll electrocute you. And then this is 12-2, so it's the same thing, except it's a heavier gauge. The lower the number, the thicker the wire. It's kind of counterintuitive, but I'm going to use this for your outlets in the walls that you plug things into, and going to use the lighter gauge stuff for the lights. My wife and I have gone around here and marked. You can see these arrows. That's where we're going to put the box. Okay. I've always just used my hammer as a height there to set that. Let me show you how I do that. This is my typical framing hammer, and so I usually just take this thing, and this is a perfect height, scratch the wall, make my mark, put what side I want to go on it. These things are pre-marked with a little depth feeler at 3/8, and your typical drywall is a 1/2 inch, so if you just run that up against the stud, it'll be inside the drywall about 1/8, which I like it to be inside the drywall, not sticking proud of the drywall, so that your cover that you screw on at the end will be tight to the drywall. So I just mark the height on this thing with that guy there, and you just tack it to the stud. Done. And then you just go around the room. We've marked one here, one on each wall, over there, and we'll just work around and put them up. And these little things are great because you just, bam, you slide it up against there and it sets it for you. Now with the light switch, there's a typical height, and I just know from hanging drywall it's always right in between the two sheets, so it's usually around 4 foot. Actually going to set it over here. You don't want to be right up against the door, because you have to remember you're going to have some trim that comes out that far. So you set your cup there, it's going to get in the way, so you got to space it out a little bit. It'll go there. And we're going to put a porch light in here, aren't we? So we want a 2 gang, not a 1. So you can have 2 switches. Almost screwed up. It's fine. We won't tell anybody. Fit. And then out here we've decided on a porch light. It could be a recessed or a low profile light up under the overhang of the porch. So this guy just goes on the same way. It's got like a little notch there for your depth. I've already marked this to be centered up on the front porch. On the tie down. Done. Man, it's been a while since I've been down here. Dried up a bit. Last time I was down here, it was submerged right here. We dug a little drain right there and it seemed to help. Today is January 21st. They swore in a new president yesterday. Boy, that was a process. Don't get me started on that. All right, I got a ladder. That's good. Got to extend this out. I got the materials to get that extended out, but today we're going to do electrical rough in. Get some wire run. See what the mice have done. Not too bad. That was like that last time. All right. This cup here is going to be a backfeed cup for my inverter. I'm going to use a 1800 watt inverter, and I'm gonna supply electric throughout the cabin, and that's going to be basically 15 amps. If you take 1800 watts and divide 120 volts into it, that gives you 15 amps into this cabin. So I'm going to wire it like I'd normally wire a house, which is slightly overkill, but you never know what you're going to do in the future. You might want to upgrade or something like that. So, you know, once you seal the walls up, you can't go back and change it. So err on the side of too heavy rather than too light. So I got to drill through all these studs, starting here, all the studs from cup to cup to cup, to daisy chain all my wiring together. I'm going to run two different wires. I'm going to use this 12-2 for my outlets, and I'm going to use 14-2 for my lighting circuits. So anyhow, let me get to work. The wire's coming up through, boom, coming down, getting into this cup, heading back out, going up here. So it's down there, it's going to come up here. So going to need some holes through here. That there's a box down there, so we'll run two wires, and then one wire will go this way right above this window. Get that wire up a little bit in case there's some baseboard trim. That gets us down there. All right, she comes in, pops in right here. Now let's think about the lighting circuit. I at least got to get a feeder from there here, so I can also run that with that one, and then we'll just pop through that wall down low. So we're gonna need something up here. Alrighty, and where are you gonna go with it? I'm probably gonna run it down this side, so run it through here, because we're gonna have to go up, and I think this through what I'm doing. So the light's gonna be out there, and there's also gonna be one out on the porch, so we're gonna have to pop through for the porch light. Switch is inside, and then porch light's gonna be there. So think it through. You're gonna go up, it's actually gonna pop through in there. So you got your feeder coming in, and then you're gonna come back out, okay? And I might be able to get 3 of these 14s through here. And then you gotta go, and that indicates, see if I can get through that way. There's daylight. Perfect. So for now, all the holes are complete. So now I'm gonna start running wire. Just straighten this wire out first before you try to run it through there. Find out how much you're gonna run. And do not run it in the box first. Run it in the box last. So come through. And so get something to do to knock out anything to knock these out. A bolt, screwdriver, whatever works. Knock them out. Bring it through your box. And always leave yourself a lot of wire sticking out. Don't cut yourself short. I worked for an electrician one time, and he hollered at me for not leaving enough wire. Leave a lot, and then come out of your box about 4 inches. It's actually a measurement in code. I'm not an electrician, so don't quote me. But that's down and then out. And then look, right like that, boom. And I'm gonna come. There'll be one more wire for the feeder and head on up. Hi. Oh my. I'm so lucky. How's your day going? Good. Good? What you got? Oh man.
I don't know. Mom just put stuff in her bag.
Let's go out here and eat. Alright, so. Done. All right, that's that. In, out, over. And we're going back up. All right, we have the outlet circuit run. Their 12-2 wire goes here on up. Now I got to heat up. I need one more little length of wire to get to this outlet, but I got that up the shop and I'll grab it. Now we're going to run our lighting circuit. So to energize a lighting circuit, you need to start at your power source, and you got to get all the way around, up and over the door, and you have to get a power source or the line to your switch. So this is our switch coming through the door. We have a double box there. We just talked about it, and we're going to take that out and put a triple, but I can still run the wires. So we're going to have a switch for a light that goes in the center of the room straight up. We're going to have a switch for the front porch, and then also popping through on the gable, on the peak up there, I'm going to have a floodlight shining out over the campfire area. So let me get to work on running this. Now, the lighting circuit's going to be 14.2 because it doesn't require as much to run a light. What, a couple 100-watt bulbs at the most nowadays with LEDs, not even that much. So you can't envision more than about 500 watts on this whole line, so you don't need as much. Outlets need more because you have a coffee pot and then I don't know, a battery charger running, or man, coffee pot alone can be 11 amps, sometimes surging up as high as 14. So you need more there. And quite frankly, I mean, people load up outlets all day long. They put splitters on them, run extension cords, space heaters, all kinds. There's no limit to what you can plug in on those, but for the lighting circuit, it's usually hardwired and it just stays that way the whole time. All right, just made it. All right. Done. Okay, so she's ready to go. All right, we've finished up pretty much most of the roughing, all except for a little bit, and I'll show you what that is. Coming around here, we still got to do something here, and then way up there we got a light. That's just temporary until we get some sheathing on the walls, so that's just temporary. And then, so that'll be the light in the house. You know, you walk in your door, you throw the light on. This will be the front porch, which is up there, roughed in. Okay, so we got to get a fixture. I'll put that after I insulate and put some sheathing there. And then out there, you see that wire sticking out up there, I hope. If you can't, there's a wire sticking out and they'll get a floodlight up there. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna basically do a backfeed situation with this thing with an inverter, a really cool inverter. I'll show you in a second. But all these wires are gonna get twisted together into one wire nut. And what we have here is basically an appliance outlet. So again, it's in a 20 amp extension cord, basically one-sided extension cord I bought on Amazon. So it's really heavy duty, flexible cord. And so of course, you know, it's going to tie in with the hot, neutral, and the ground. And then on this end, it gets plugged into the inverter. So I'll show you that in a second. So let me wire this up and I'll show you how all this is going to work. All right, we got this outlet wrapped up. So what I've done here is taken a metal blank and drilled a hole in it and put a wire clamp in it, and taken this wire that usually would go to an appliance, so it's a 12 gauge wire, and went ahead and installed it in here with this clamp, hooked it to the wires all in the back. All the hots go together, all the neutrals go together, so everything is common. And then we can plug this into our inverter, and then basically the cabin becomes an appliance. And I did this with a metal cover with a clamp here, so if this gets snagged or something, you know, it's not going to yank out of the wall. So this clamp holds onto that, and this is a good vinyl heavy duty cord here that's insulated, just like your shop cord or something like that. So we'll go ahead and get the inverter and hook everything up, plug her in, and see if the cabin works. Hold tight. All right, this is the inverter I'm going to use. This is the Dewalt Power Station. It runs off of 4 PowerMax 60-volt batteries. These batteries aren't cheap, and this thing isn't cheap, but it's really, really cool. I got this actually a couple of months ago. I researched it a little bit, and this thing here, I'll check on Amazon, but it's in the high $400s, $500 range. And these bad boys are like, I forget, like 150 a piece. So do the math. 3, 6, 5. You know, it's like $1,100 setup right here. But the cool thing about this thing is it is 15 amps continuous. Okay, it's 1800 watts, which is just about as much as my little generator. Here's the control side of it here. You got one outlet, okay, right there. This is for charging in, so you hook an extension cord into this and plug it in, okay. This is also a charger, but it will not charge and invert at the same time, so you have to do one or the other. So it's a pretty cool unit here. We're going to see how it runs. I've tested this. This is model DCB 1800, and we've used it a little bit, and it's amazing. It's actually pretty impressive. Okay, so that's that. You turn it on, and it's just silent as a church mouse. If you really put a load on it, it's got a fan over here that'll run. I don't know if you can see right here. If you really put a load on it, we've hooked a coffee pot to it. I've run air compressor with it, vacuum cleaners, chop box, skill saw, and it doesn't seem to flinch. I mean, it powers up an air compressor like actually faster than the power down at the shop, which is running off of a long line. So it's got plenty of oomph, and it's on demand, and it makes no noise, and it runs quite some time. We ran the air compressor off of it down at the mill the other day. You know, it was coming on and off, but it ran for hours. And I've run a chop box off of this for hours. So I mean, it's got a lot of life in it. So we're gonna see if we can run this whole cabin off of it, and it's just going to be running lights and the outlets. We'll probably have a coffee pot on here every once in a while. And then when you're done and you want to take it home, you just take this thing back to the house and plug it in. And it takes about 3 hours to charge all of these, but I have a quick charger that I can put all these in here and I'll charge them in 1 hour. But you know, this is going to be occasional use, so you know, if this thing lasts 4 or 5 hours, which it should, you know, honestly should last 16 hours with a couple of lights on. But it should be fine, serve the purpose. And I use it on the farm, you know, way out in the middle of nowhere. If you need a good strong skill saw or chop box, this works great. It's just portable power. So you can see I've turned it on, and this is the first time test, so you're testing it with me too. Let me get this protective end off of this cord. Forgive me, I'm doing this with one hand. Alrighty, let's see. Hopefully, if I've wired everything right, you won't see a spark. Alright, that's a good sign. Alrighty, let's go over here and see. Drum roll, please. Oh, the light bulb's out. We need a new light bulb. The light bulb's crapped out.
What about the string lights?
All right, that didn't work because the light bulb's out. I guess let's try the string lights. Ah, we have power. Alrighty, we have lights. There it is. We'll probably set it up on a table or something, tuck it over in the corner a little bit, but that is a bag unit. I've really been liking this thing, and so I'm going to do a review on this very shortly, and we'll put it in the description. It's a total thumbs up. Love it. Yeah, it's expensive, but usually when you need a little generator, you're not using it for a long period of time. If you need 1800 watts for a couple of hours, that's quiet. You can run it inside. Something like this, you can run your refrigerator, you could run, a coffee pot, not at the same time, but you could run some essentials, at least keep your food from spoiling. But anyhow, I'm done talking. See ya. All right, shoot it at me. All right, am I in it?
Yes.
Mommy's gonna erase this part. Don't worry about it, okay?
Yeah.